When I step into the secret laboratory, I throw a Hadouken.
Look at Green Donut. Oh, I got him, I got him, I got him, I got 47 assists. He actually got 48 assists, man.
Can someone bring me a bucket? I'm gonna hurl. No, I have to finish it. I've come so far.
You threw that bomb?
No, I didn't, but I just wanted to shoot stuff so that I could get the credit for killing him, because I'm a jerk.
Gauntlet is actually available for pre-order now from GameStop, which you can get some pretty sweet exclusives.
You know, somebody in the chat actually said that I sounded like Kermit the Frog in puberty, and I just gotta tell you, don't screw yourself. Was that close? That wasn't close. That wasn't bad. That was bad.
In galaxies.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm looking at the camera up in the sky there, right? We are here with Monolith Productions, a company that I'm familiar with. And they have created an amazing game called Shadow of Mordor. And for the first time, you're going to get the chance to see its amazing Nemesis system be played live simultaneously by a bunch of people. So unless you've actually physically gone to E3 or went and visited Monolith's offices, there's no way you have actually seen this thing and how cool it is take place, where the game evolves and changes as you play it based on the decisions you're making in the action. And with me is a gentle and kind sir, and you're the designer.
A designer, yep.
No, he's the designer. He did everything. He coded it and everything. But go ahead and introduce yourself and let the audience know.
Sure. So actually, we're pretty excited here today because as well as myself, Mike DePlata on the design. We've also got Kevin Steffens, who's our studio head, is here. But also,
see, look, you can see yourself.
But the reason we're really excited as well, we've got Bob Roberts, who's the lead designer of the game. We've got Jessica Maznica, producer, and we've got Ryan Ledeen, again, one of our designers. And what we can do here that we weren't even able to do at E3 is we're going to have 3 versions of the game in our Nemesis system running in parallel. And each one of these guys is going to be able to play it out differently, and we're going to be able to play and pursue different strategies, pursue different enemies that you guys ask us to go after, so we can really see all of the different choices and how this can play out. So, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. So wait, let me. So you'll see in the broadcast here, underneath us, you see 3 Shadow of Mordor screens. And each one of those screens that you're seeing is a different player who's on a PS4 in the back in the game room. And so you're going to be able to see them all play at the exact same time, but you'll watch as they make different choices. You'll see all the permutations that take place, and we'll be able to stop the gameplay, answer questions, have the audience tell us, let's try something different. We're watching the chat. I see it's Yapit's tank. Jessica is a fox. I see Andy Arocha21 who said cool. Hello to the entire active chat. We're going to be able to talk to you guys. And if you want to Skype in, you see you need to go to twingalaxieslive.com and you'll be able to see the Skype buttons. You can click it and then you'll actually be able to Skype in and talk directly to the developers here and get your questions answered. And Rady, if I can get you to change the camera over to the camera 8, then we will do that. All right.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is each one of these guys is going to approach the game in a different way, a different style. And apologies in advance if we're a bit husky and our voices are breaking a bit here. We had a pretty good E3, so there was a little bit of celebration last night, so sorry about that. But anyway, so, excuse me, Bob is going to take a sort of really tactical strategy. He's going to gather information on these enemies. He's going to use their strengths and weaknesses. He's going to sort of take them down tactically, probably use some more stealth. So to give you an example of how that works, we've just zoomed in on one of these war chiefs here. We can see these guys have a whole list of strengths and weaknesses that you can learn about. So this guy's invulnerable to ranged, This guy hates burns. If we try and use the environment and incinerate him, he's going to become insane. If we charge in on a Karagor or a beast and try and attack him, he's going to be able to take them down. So, yeah, Bob's really going to focus on showing how planning and strategy can be used to take down these enemies. And then Ryan, he's going to use a different approach to defeat these war chiefs. He's going to focus on the power of the Wraith and on domination, and on how much we can actually use the power of the Wraith to bend these guys to our will, build our own army, turn Mordor against itself, set it on fire, and get them to actually sort of bring down Sauron's army from within using our Wraith powers. And then finally, Jessica is just going to be all about full-on violence and directly going after these guys, just taking it head on, and just slaughtering all the way. So 3 very, very sort of different play styles, but even within all of those, we should see a whole bunch of different choices, different strategies able to sort of emerge and see how this plays out.
So I want to check with the audience here. Down at the bottom of the screen, I believe we're looking at the far left is who? Who is the far left?
That's me, DJ Sketch 04.
Oh, not on Skype. I'm in the actual broadcast. Jessica is far left, so we'll call that screen 1. The next one over is who? Ryan. Ryan is screen 2, and the third one over is Bob, so that you know who is doing what. And we're seeing the chat right now, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Welcome if you're just joining the broadcast. We've got Monolith here. They're going to be showing Shadow of Mordor and the Nemesis system, and you're going to get to see it live and how 3 people playing at the same time in different games, how the game just starts shaping around their play style. And this is sort of a first. So if you really want to if you're watching on Twitch right now, you won't be able to click each screen and make it bigger. If you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you'll be able to actually select the screens that you see down below and specifically follow the players in what they're doing. Totally up to you, though.
So maybe what we can do quickly, because I can see Bob's screen here in particular, we might just give a little bit of a guided tour of the 5 war chiefs in this part of Mordor, and then maybe if you guys can help us out and give us some suggestions of who we should go after, and then also we can answer other questions and stuff as we go through as well. So Bob, if you could start up on the left.
By the way, you got Michael. Can we outfit Talion a la Shops?
Good question. Okay, can I come back to that, or should I get that first? So we'll check these guys out first, and then we'll definitely come back there. So we've got Zumug the Defender. He's level 10. He's not too strong, although, obviously he's got this heavy armor, he's got this shield, he's got this bloody weapon. And something that makes these guys really distinct, first there's their personality, there's how they play out. This guy's a defender. That's a big hint about his strategy. Their motives, that'll give clues as to their personality, and that'll help you learn where you can find them in the world, what they're likely to be doing. Bodyguards, so that's the other thing. You're not going to be fighting one of these bosses at once, because they can actually bring other bodyguards with them. You can be fighting multiple bosses simultaneously. So, and we can see those lines in the Nemesis system in this Sauron's army page. One of them's pointing to the bodyguard on the right that we have the information about, and the other guy on the left is just a dark silhouette. That's because we haven't gathered his intel yet, so we need to get out there, and yes, we will have the Wilhelm scream. Sorry, just peripheral vision there. So probably what we would want to do is make sure we went out, got the intel, learned the strengths and weaknesses of these bodyguards, and kind of plan that approach before we go after this war chief. And then if we head in on Zumug, if we click to the right as well, we can see the strengths and weaknesses. So hates and fears are the ways their personalities are going to make them play out differently. So this guy, if we try and incinerate him, he'll become enraged. Because of all this heavy armor, we can't use ranged on him, so it's going to have to get up close in melee, or potentially wear him down first with some stealth. And also with that shield, he's got a bunch of really powerful attacks as well. So, but there's always ways and possibilities to take him down. So we can use combat finishes, use stealth, and get in on him. Okay, so we'll have a quick look through the other war chiefs along this row. Look, the serpent. This guy's different. He's a hunter. We can see he's got that poisonous spear. Yes, archery does have a reticle. Sorry, it's sort of multitasking here. He's a serpent. He's slightly more powerful. That means we'll get better loot if we take him down. He's an experienced monster hunter. And the way we need to draw out the serpent is by basically killing his followers to draw him out. And let's just check his strengths and weaknesses. Again, explosions, whereas burning that previous guy would actually make the situation worse for us. It's going to be a really valuable way to take down the serpent. But by contrast, stealth is not going to work. Also, he's a sniffer. What that means is we can see from this guy looking at him, he's a monster hunter, he's a tracker. So it's not just us hunting down these orcs and these war chiefs. They can hunt and track us as well. And okay, quick, let's check out number 3. While we're doing that, maybe I'll just cut in some questions as we go. It is an open world. You can go anywhere that you like within each zone, but it's divided into multiple zones because Mordor covers many sort of hundreds of miles from side to side. So what we're actually going to do in the opening part of the game, we're in Udun, Sindarin, Fahel, just inside the Black Gates. And then as we progress, as we defeat our enemies, we're actually unlocking additional zones and regions. So this one here is the Sea of Nirn. So many, many hundreds of miles deeper into Mordor behind enemy lines. And that's the second one we've just revealed here at E3. So this guy, the advisor, he's probably a bit smarter, a bit cleverer, a bit more tactical, also 2 bodyguards. And because he's a tactician, the way that we're going to draw him out is if we actually make his followers slaughter each other. You know, he's all about having to dominate and keep control of this stronghold. But he has a real weakness. If we can get the jump on him, if Bob can sneak up on him, could actually kill this guy in one hit if we can infiltrate into that fortress. But if we don't kill him in one hit, that hate of defeat is going to mean he's going to come back even stronger. So it's always sort of risk rewards and always trying to make sure they play out differently. Okay, next guy. And sorry, just grab a question. Did we get inspiration from Romans? That's a good question. I think maybe not specifically, but we certainly 2 things looked at a lot of historical inspiration, a lot of armor. Like we want everything to be, you know, to be authentic within Tolkien. One of the things that makes it such an amazing universe for us to work in is the attention to detail and the history. So we really did try and make sure everything was A, functional, and B, it fits the technology level of this time in Middle-earth and also of the sort of technology level of the orcs and the materials they could manufacture. So definitely looked at that. In some ways, yeah, they're maybe a bit more like the barbarians and the Vikings than the Romans, but definitely a lot of historical references. And there goes my voice again. It's after terrible karaoke. Oh my God, sorry. No, you don't. So Bowmaster. So that name, there's a name that's a pretty strong clue about how to fight this guy. He's got that crossbow. He's got the trophies of previous victims that are attached to the front of that crossbow. And the way to draw him out, you know, is to get up close, prove that you're a worthy challenger by taking down his followers without taking any damage. Again, power level 12, and we can see he's killed 3 other orcs. So, you know, that can sort of be where we see these sort of trophies he's got on that crossbow. And if we go over on the right trigger, okay, but conversely, this guy's not a beast hunter, so if we can get a Caragor, a Graug, one of these big monsters, and bring them in there, that's going to be a way to one-shot kill this guy. And he's interesting as well. He really actually looks after his bodyguards, the guards that he's protectors. We try and take them down first. That's what's going to send this guy into a rage, and he's going to become super dangerous. He's already a quick shot. You double that up again when he becomes enraged, and he's going to be extremely deadly. So another tough fight there. Okay, kill the Bowmaster. All right, we'll get there. One more, last one. The Potlicker, another Spearman. Okay, poison weapons. because of that poison, we draw him out by going for the grog stacks. Let's check out his strengths and weaknesses. Again, vulnerable to stealth, invulnerable to range, and another monster slayer. Okay, so that's quick tour of these 5 guys. Then we'll get back to the shops, and then we'll jump in. So just 1 to 5, any suggestions of who we should go after? Do we get runes when we dominate? No, only when you kill them. So that's another risk reward. Do you want the resource of keeping them? Okay, who are we going after? Can we customize orcs? Yes. Will the orcs have Cockney accents? All right. So we just need to decide who to go for first. Let's go for 1. And now 1 more question, then we'll go for it. Straight up, well, we sort of want to show how it can play out tactically. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn about this bodyguard first, gather that intel, and then plan that attack, and then Bob can go after him. And now I can come back to some of the other questions. Okay, so first, do we outfit Talion? We do have different skins as well. So one of them's the Dark Ranger skin as well. But because we're following this character's story, it's not fully customizable. You know, there is, Talion. We have the particular appearance that we've created for him, and also the other thing that's important is because he's going on this journey where he starts off as a ranger of the Black Gates, he gets killed, he gets resurrected, and in some ways, as his power is growing and he's gaining more power of the Wraith, he's also somewhat descending into darkness as well. So basically how he looks and how his appearance evolves as we go through the story is a really important part of his character and his evolution in the story. Okay. Sorry, I'll just grab these. What happens if the orc kills you and fails to enter the hierarchy? So if one of them kills you, that's a big deal in orc society. The Grave Walker is pretty much the monster to the monsters to these guys. From their point of view, you're the biggest villain in Mordor. So if they take you down, that's a big deal. And they are going to enter the hierarchy, even if they have to kill another existing captain to get in there and enter it. So Bob's grabbed a worm here. Worms are guys that enable you to basically get access to the information of Sauron's army. And we've learnt who this other bodyguard is, Latbag the Endless. Okay, does Talion degrade from dying? No, he doesn't. But what does happen is the world evolves. So Talion will be resurrected by the Wraith on the towers, but the Orc Society itself will move forward. So not only will the guy who killed you get promoted, but any other missions that were currently taking place within the world, all the different power struggles, all the missions they're going on, they'll get resolved. They can live or die. They'll level up. So here Bob is actually running around. It's at night now, and because it's night time, Mordor gets even more dangerous because it wasn't dangerous enough during the day, and this is now crawling with ghouls that are another species of monsters. Will there be companions? It's another good question. So I guess there's a couple of ways to answer that. We do have, so I guess the short answer is kind of yes. We do have our story missions. Of course, we're super excited. We've worked with Christian Canamessa on the story. We haven't really shown much or anything of those story missions as yet, but there's a whole bunch of those different story threads, those characters that you meet, and there are missions with those guys where they will be accompanying you. And then secondly, another part of that question is as you dominate and bend these orcs to your will, these orc captains to your will, you can send them on missions, so you can basically accompany them and fight alongside them in those as well. And I guess the other thing that's sort of interesting is the main character himself, Talion, and the Wraith. They really are two characters. So particularly at some points in the story as we go through some of the missions, the fact that those two guys are working together becomes really important as well. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to check out how's Ryan going. So Ryan, again, is using... Oh, he slaughtered that guy. the power of domination. So we can actually, there's no limitation to how many of these guys you can actually conquer, bend to your will. If you wanted to go right the way through a stronghold and actually get the entire thing primed and set up, so once battle kicks off, all of these guys are going to fight alongside with you. That's totally possible as well. So we sort of didn't get as much of a chance to do that at E3 because most of our demos were a bit more limited to 20, 25 minutes. So it's nice to be able to show you guys a bit more depth into that as well. And I can't see the screen, but I'm assuming Jessica's doing some good slaughtering. Oh, excellent. She was stomping around on a Graug, which are one of our big beasts. So Wraith powers seem overpowered. So that's a good one as well. I mean, partly this particular area, the Sea of Nirn, we've gone deep in. This is the second half of the game. One of I guess there's two ways to answer this question. One is from the game design point of view, wanting to have real power growth in the game. So when you begin, you're closer to just having your skills as a ranger. It's more about your physical stealth and combat. But by the end of the game, you know, this spirit that's within you, this wraith, this is someone that is a genuinely legitimate rival in power to Sauron, in the same way that Galadriel was when she was talking about what would happen if she took the ring, or of course when the White Council faced the Necromancer in Dol Guldur. This is a very powerful character. So he's probably not as powerful as the Army of the Dead, you know, and those sort of game changers. But he's certainly someone that's really significant in his power. Right. Sorry. How do you burn orcs? Right. So again, this is fun. That's really cool. Probably my voice is going to go, but it's cool. Oh, excellent. So Bob's taken down one of those bodyguards, and that's great. So not only has he made the boss fight he's going to get against that war chief easier, he's also picked up a rune. So that's a smite rune. He's now going to, sorry, if we just go back, check that out. We can see that he took down Latbag, the Endless. He's going to get focus back if he can do a combat flurry. So these are if you can grab your enemies, use them as a meat shield, shank them in combat, take them down. He's going to be able to use that to build up his focus, which is slow-mo. So can really use a combination of melee attacks going into range attacks. And sorry, I got distracted there.
That's okay. Someone asked, he said in E3, when you take down an orc, does someone eventually come to take his place back?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, and I remembered the other question as well, was about the fire. So part of the power of the Wraith, as we see with the Rings of Power, Gandalf's ring, Narya, it's the Ring of Fire. So manipulating light, manipulating flame, that's part of the power of what the Wraith can do. So it's through the Wraith that you can incinerate, use fires, burn your enemies. And the question, as you eliminate these enemies, do they get replaced? So yes, when you die, or you can choose to wait, you can choose to pass time, because you might actually want the living world to change and evolve. And if you want that, or if you die, time's going to move forward. When it moves forward, new guys are going to come into the hierarchy, and Sauron's army guys are going to move up. The other thing is, if a war chief has a bodyguard and that war chief is eliminated, he's going to get replaced by his bodyguard as well. So you can use that to your advantage as well.
Will there be any big boss fights besides the war chiefs, or just stronger orcs? Said Catcaster.
Yes. So is the again, there's, you know, we're obviously really excited about the Nemesis system, and we think it's a really key part of the sort of game and bringing the world to life and making the enemies fun. But it really is just one part of the game. So you know, we're really excited that we're going to be able to show, more of that later. We also do have a lot of story missions. As I mentioned, you know, sort of working with Christian earlier, and they include some pretty epic boss fights as well. And then there's also, I think we've shown the Black Captains, who are kind of some of Sauron's, basically almost Sauron's bodyguards in the same way as these guys work together. and there's some pretty epic boss fights against those guys as well.
Let's try to do some rapid fire short answers to all these questions. See
Okay,
if we
sorry.
can do it. Ready?
Okay.
We'll start with. Wow, this is flying. We should probably put it in. We're getting a lot of people in here. We could put the chat into slow mode.
I'll put it in slow mode.
Okay. Whoever put it, we'll put it in the slow mode. Tenrosu says it's a day one buy for him, and he loves the fact that he feels like he's killing all the orcs. Do you use in-game cutscenes or cinematic cutscenes?
Both.
You get them both. Let's keep going. Can you name all the monster types, please?
We haven't actually revealed them all yet, because some of them are in those boss fights and so on. So I can name all the ones that we've revealed, which are the Karagors and the Graugs and the Ghouls, but not the ones that we haven't yet. Oh yeah,
there's a ghoul over right now.
Swarming. Those guys are fun, and of course within each of the other thing. Sorry, I know we said rapid fire, but within each of those types, just like our orcs, you know, not as much diversity, but just like those orcs, there's variations within each of those species as well. So rare ones and stuff. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm getting reminded of something, but it's the...
Oh, no, not at all. So we have a number of exclusive giveaways that Monolith and Warner Brothers have provided, and throughout the broadcast here, you have a chance to win them. Just a quick reminder, if you pre-order the game now, you can get the Dark Ranger character skin, and if you register for a WBID, you get the exclusive, which is an Orc Hunter rune. So you'll see those links fly by in the chat. Just click on them, and you'll be directed to the right place. But we're going to give away our first shirt. This was an E3 exclusive from you guys.
Cool.
And all you have to do at home is answer this question. The first person to get it will win a shirt.
Okay, wait. We're about to do a giveaway.
Yep.
We're going to ask a question. First person to get it is going to get a shirt.
I'm winning it.
Right now. Pay attention, everybody.
Absolutely. All right. Here it is. When is the release date of the game?
Oh, I know.
When is the release date of the game? That's the question. We got less than 2 minutes before we go to a quick commercial. When's the release date?
It's a pretty awesome shirt, too.
It's an amazing shirt. Ooh. There it is. There it is in Skype. No. Oh, MK Ultra got it. I believe MK Ultra got it first.
Really?
Nope. No.
No. Yopi Stink.
Yop it stank. You just won a shirt.
Yop it stank. Boom.
We're gonna tell you how to redeem it in the chat. So just watch for that. Back to you.
Okay.
There's going to be more giveaways
Throughout the whole broadcast.
Okay, so we're back. Right. So here we go. Where is everyone at? So Bob's infiltrated in.